Onto our worked examples now, so let's go through. If I am converting from millimeters to centimeters, so I'm going from millimeters to centimeters, I am going up. I'm starting small and I'm going bigger, so I'm actually going to be dividing, and in this case I am going to be dividing by 10. Next one, if I am converting from meters to centimeters, let's have a look at the diagram above. So if I'm starting off with meters and I'm going to centimeters, I am going to be multiplying, and I'm multiplying by this number here, which is 100. So again, I'm using a whole lot of facts, or you could be using this diagram. It's really nice to go up and down. You just got to remember where everything actually lives. Next thing, we are going to convert the units of measurement shown into the ones in the bracket. So here is what I am starting off with, centimeters, and I want to actually turn it into meters. It may even help to write this on the side just so you can keep track of things. So for this answer, I have 300 centimeters, and I'm going to multiply it by, because if I'm going to divide, my apologies. I'm going to go from a smaller unit to a larger unit. So what I am doing here is I am now going to need to divide. So I'm actually going to be dividing by 10. Nope, 100. Apologies. So 300 divided by 100 will actually give me 3 meters. And a good way to double check is to maybe just write a quick little thing. So if I've got 100 centimeters, that will give me 1 meter. Let's double check. I had 300 centimeters, so 3 times this, which gives me 3 meters, so that one is correct. Next one, we are going from kilometers to meters. So I'm starting big and I'm going little. If I'm starting big and going little, I am going to multiply, and I'm going to multiply by 1000. So let's do that with our numbers. So I'm going to start off with my 6.43. And again, remember, you are starting off with your kilometers, and we want to convert it into meters. So in this case, as I said before, we are going to be multiplying. So I'm going to be multiplying by 1000. So let's do that. So I should end up with 6,430 meters. That will be my answer for that one. Next thing, I'm going to add lengths together to refine the result in the bracket shown. So let's just do a little quick guide here. Here's what I'm starting off with, centimeters and millimeters, and I want to change it just to millimeters. Okay, so you need to be aware of what you are changing things into. So I've got centimeters and I've got millimeters, and I want to change it to just millimeters. So the only thing in this that I need to change is my centimeters. So if I'm going from centimeters to millimeters, I am going down. I'm starting big and I'm getting smaller, which means I am going to multiply. And from our little graphic up top here, I'm going to be multiplying by 10. So let's do that to our 7 here. So writing that one out, I would have my 7 multiplied by 10, which will give me 70 millimeters. Then I can add these two together, which is 70 millimeters and my 2. So if I have my 70 plus my 2 to give me 72 millimeters, that would be my answer for that one. Let's have a go at another one. Next one I have got a little bit harder, but you'll like the process once you get it. So I'm going from meters and millimeters, and I want to turn it just into meters. So just as a little reminder, I'm going from meters and I want to go to millimeters. To actually get to millimeters, I have to actually go through centimeters. So let's just put that in just so we keep track of it and we don't miss a step. So a good way to do things is to do it kind of in a stepwise fashion. So let's do that. If I'm going from meters to centimeters, so I'm starting big and I'm getting smaller, I'm going to be multiplying. we can always double check with our graphic up the top. So if I'm going from meters to centimeters, I'm going to multiply by 100. If I'm going from centimeters to millimeters, I'm going to multiply by 10. So these are the two numbers that I'm going to need to use. So let's do that to our 4.5. So I have my 4.5 and I am going to multiply it by 100 and then I'm going to multiply it by 10. So once I actually do that, I will be able to get my final answer. Just some very quick math, make my life a little bit easier. Always have a calculator on hand. I end up with 4,500 millimeters. Now I need to add in this next part. So on my next line, I'm going to do 4,500 plus my 75 to give me 4,575 millimeters. And again, that would be my answer. What I've done is I've converted, then I've added them together to give me my final answer. Okay, last little one, then you can hop on to your questions. Won't that be exciting? So we've got our rulers, and again we have our centimeters and our millimeter divisions, and we want to read the scales marked on the length, and you want to pick the most appropriate unit of measurement. So if it is a millimeter, if it's in that kind of millimeter realm, you're going to use millimeters. If it's in a nice whole number like it is here, I'm going to have centimeters. So for this particular one, I'm actually going to have centimeters. So I'm starting at 1 and I'm going to 4. So if I was writing out my working, so I'm going from 4 and I'm going to 1, which means I end up with 3 centimeters in length. So this here is 3 centimeters in length. Next one over. I have, I'm getting into my millimeter stages, so I'm going to show this in two different ways. I'm going to show you what it is in millimeters, and I'm going to show you as well what it is with centimeters. Usually it will actually tell you what you're after. So here, what I am doing, I am starting off with, so I've got 0.6 centimeters, so I've got 6 millimeters, or 0.6 centimeters, where it's starting, because it's just after this number 5, so it's 6. And then I'm going to 3.1, 2, 3, 4. So here I have is 3.4. So let's write that in. So I have 3.4 centimeters, or 34 millimeters. Now we need to actually see the difference between these two numbers to actually find out what our answer is. So let's match up our millimeters. So if I'm going from 34 and I'm taking away 6, I will end up with my lovely answer of 28. And that is millimeters. If I'm doing the same for my centimeters, I've got 3.4 and 0.6. So 3.4 minus 0.6, I end up with 2.8 centimeters, and that would be my answer for that. I reckon you guys will be awesome, and hopping onto your questions, group A or B, your teacher will inform you which side.